the pair of cranes started dancing. It was the first time I've ever seen them. It was such a marvellous experience. It was the male running about the place, kind of dipping down, bending down, and then the female was duly impressed with that, and she would give a few flutters as well. They are part of our landscape, they're part of our history and culture. To see them back is quite a joyous sight, and actually to see them dancing was even better. My name is Ron MacDonald. I'm a volunteer with the RSPB monitoring the cranes, the common crane in North East Scotland, and I've been part of the team for the last 4 years. We go through each of the sites looking at different viewpoints, hoping to pick up the birds, and then kind of recording how many there are, what they're doing, what's the habitat, and what's the detail of the habitat they're in. It's very enjoyable. It's a great story, you know, from naturally recolonising from an area that they obviously in the past inhabited. The kind of local community, this is probably the pair that they see most often, and it's a very much kind of well-loved kind of bird in this community. People are fond of their cranes, and the farming community in particular have been very, very supportive of what the RSPB are trying to do here, and allowed us volunteers kind of free access onto their land. I don't think we're in luck this afternoon. Maybe we'll just go on to another site and see if we can pick up the pair that's just about maybe two miles away. But no sign. Because you can't go the whole day without actually seeing any cranes. You know, I'm still fascinated by the story of the return, and also wondering, you know, will this population take off?
I'm Matt de Boer. I'm the peatland conservation advisor for the northeast of Scotland, and in my role I'm trying to work together with the local farmers and local landowners in the northeast to restore these peatlands. The cranes like to use the bogs because they nest in these sort of bog pools in general, so they quite like to be secluded away from the people, but they use the farming landscape surrounding it to feed their young. So that's why these peatlands, this collection of peatlands, is so important to them, because there's plenty of pools around, there's plenty of farmland around, so this sort of semi-natural relationship between the small post stems of peatlands and the wider agricultural fields is a perfect habitat for them. So the Buchan peatlands are quite special because it's a very densely packed section of the lowland peatlands. They're sort of like safe havens of this unique landscape in this otherwise fully agricultural system. So that's why we're focusing so much on it, because if we restore them, they become better for wildlife and they can sort of act as a safe haven for the wider landscape as well. Everyone likes the cranes and everyone thinks they're amazing, and you normally don't expect these big birds just sitting in your back garden. So for us, working together with the landowners has been really good, because all these landowners are also quite engaged with these cranes. So we work together with them, asking like, oh, do they hear them when they're out in the field? Do they see them somewhere flying over? And we try to keep track of that. So it's a good way to stay in contact with the farmers and build a relationship with them.
here this morning with a class from Buchan School, the P6 and 7 class, and we're here as part of the Buchan Bog Buddies peatland school programme that we run. It's such a privilege to be able to come out with a great class like this on a lovely day and be able to allow them to discover the bog and what is here. They all live quite close by, but only one of them's ever been here before, so it's really lovely to be able to bring them out and to experience it.
No, you might get wet feet, but they'll dry.
It's fine. We'll take them down to the bog where we'll be measuring the peat depth. So we have peat depth probes that are all 1 metre long. We screw them up and we measure down, and then the children will be able to see just how far down the peat probes will go.
So 2,100 years this bog has been here.
Is that a frog? Aye. It's so small. Oh my god, he's so cute. Take a picture. I will use you. We saw some frogs, some ants and some spiders.
And which was the best animal?
The frog.
So do you think it's one of these?
I think that one is maybe that one there.
That one's looking a bit...
Frogs, so all the frogs were different, and one of the frogs were massive, and we got 3 frogs.
So it's not solid ground at all.
It's very squidgy and wet. I've learned a lot more than in the class when actually on the bog.
And is it thumbs up bog or thumbs down bog?
Thumbs up bog.
Makes me feel like we're closer to nature.
I feel it's not as what I expected, and it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The ants are just having a great time.
Before we started doing research about the bog, I didn't know anything about it at all, and learning about it has made me feel connected to nature more.
There is a long history of people and the bogs here. So for many years people cut the peat for their own use in their homes, and then industrial excavation became a bigger business here on the bog.
And then all the salt goes on first.
So it's really important to be in to connect the communities that are here now with their heritage, so understanding the importance that the bog had for them in the past, but now the new importance that it has, the way that it, the potential for the biodiversity that they can have here on their doorstep, and obviously the roles that bogs have to play in climate change mitigation.
There's something iconic about common crane. There's something very majestic in the way they look and how proud they are and how tall they are. It's good to see that the people in this locality and the local communities value this highly.
I think the cranes help the community to feel really special, to see that they have this wonderful bird that has just appeared. It wasn't reintroduced to this area.
I think we're very privileged, and I think it behoves us to really build on the excellent work the RSPB are doing and other organisations to try and restore our peatlands to a point where it becomes attractive for breeding cranes.